Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy AA on 2 for 20. I am bringing you guys my IBA semifinals team builder and also game, because obviously it's not just separated, it's together. This week we are playing up against Doogal, coach of the it's Arizona Zygardinals. That's what it is. My bad. I remembered Zygard, but I couldn't remember the team name. So this is a very scary game for me. If you don't remember, in the main season, actually, this is one of the games I didn't upload because this was around when I was extremely busy, and I just linked a bunch of the replays in the description. But if you have not seen the replay, which is actually very likely for that very reason, Doogal tossed me on my neck week 4. This wasn't even like some close game like I could have won. I got obliterated. Turn 1, I already knew the game was going to go to shit when he brought Extrasensory Z Zapdos and let off his Nidoqueen and OhGosh at turn 1. And I knew from that point in the game on that there was no way I could win the game because I needed rocks very, very badly against Doogal. So my team this time is built very well around countering monsters Zapdos that gave me a lot of problem last time. Same as Landorus Therian, because once Zapdos took care of my Nidoqueen, I believe I was Shuckaberry if I'm not mistaken on my Nidoqueen. I forget my sets. This was a long while ago. But point is, I remember the battle just went downhill from there. So we do have our team built a lot differently this time around to counter a lot of threats such as Ferrothorn, Zapdos, Landorus T, etc. First up, we have our Expert Belt Zeraora with Grass Knot, Focus Blast, HP Ice, and Thunderbolt. The coverage itself hits his team very well, and it outspeeds his fastest mon being Salazzle, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, we have a Choice Scarf Tapu Bulu with Horn Leech, Wood Hammer, Superpower Stone Edge, again meant to outspeed Salazzle. I figured that I could have. There was a couple other things I could have outsped, but I would have had to run Jolly to do so, such as, I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but I remember there was a couple things I could have outsped that were like Scarfers I could have sped crap, but they didn't really seem like likely brings. I figured that they were all very slow end Scarfers anyway, and like such as, actually I outspeed Scarf Primarina, so never mind. I was thinking Primarina was space 65 speed for some reason, but it's only 60, and we'd outspeed that anyway. But we outspeed things such as Choice Scarf Primarina. Obviously, we outspeed Gastron. That was the main reason I brought Bulu, because Gastron sits my team. So I have Gastron, I have Grass Knot on Zeraora, and Bulu obviously to cover those. Next up, I have a Rockium Z Aerodactyl with Stone Edge, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, and Ice Fang. Ice Fang mainly for Lando T, Stone Edge with the Rockium Z meant to OhGosh Zapdos. Doogal actually pointed out something very, very concerning to me. I should have ran a Nerve on my arrow. I ran Pressure because I figured that if I switched in, maybe I can limit defog turns or limit potential heat waves, etc. Even though that was very stupid, or even like Toxics. All these moves that have relatively high PP, and I figured that, I could just run them. Maybe I can PP stall Rocks out of Landorus should I need to. That was sort of my thought in team building, but he told me he had Charty Berry, and he would actually live my Z Stone Edge because I made sure it killed defensive Zapdos. He would have guaranteed live. Yeah, even after Rocks, he would have guaranteed live. So that was a little bit concerning, and I didn't even realize it until after the game. But had I run a Nerve like I should have run, that wouldn't have been a problem. This doesn't end up becoming a problem in the match at all, because, spoiler, I end up actually sacking Arrow, and I'll get into that in the game. But it was still definitely something I definitely overlooked in my game. Next up, I have Hawlucha with Acrobatics, Low Kick, Stone Edge, and Sword Stance. I brought Low Kick mainly because I don't want Ferrothorn protecting on my high jump kick and killing me off, and I need the damage from Low Kick from monsters such as Curselax and Ferrothorn. I have Acrobatics because it hits his team fairly well for neutral coverage, and Stone Edge because Doogal has the best Hawlucha counter in the entire game, being Zapdos. At least in the normal draft tier format, Zapdos is by far the best Hawlucha counter. So I figured that I really wanted to move to hit it, and at +2, I do a fair amount of damage to Zapdos if he wasn't Charty Berry. And he actually brought Charty Berry specifically for this reason, as a way to handle Hawlucha late game should it come down to it. So that was very smart prep on Doogal's part. Next up, we have Sneasel with Life Orb, Icicle Crash, Low Kick, Knockoff, Ice Shard. Hits his team pretty well. Really, the only mon that comes in on this is Gastrodon and Primarina, but I have plenty of answers for both of those. And finally, I have Mega Blastoise with Aura Sphere, Ice Beam, Water Pulse, and Hidden Fire Grass. Hidden Fire Grass just so I could hit Gastrodon better. The coverage itself hits his team phenomenally. Really, like even Primarina is 3-8 KO'd by Grass, HP Grass, which, while it isn't overly impressive, to sort of have as just a backup answer so that it's one less money to switch out versus it, I figured that was pretty well worth it. And that is our team. Now let's get right into the match. So as you can see here, Doogal brings the Mega Gallade, Zapdos, Landorus, Therian, Ferrothorn, Salazzle, and Primarina. I was very glad to not see a Gastrodon, because like last time I figured that Gastrodon was a mon I was really scared of, though this time a lot less scared of it, obviously because I have Tapu Bulu who literally OHKOs it, and Tapu Bulu does a fairly nice job against his team overall. I predict he's going to lead with Ferrothorn, Zapdos, or Landorus Therian. Zapdos because it can pivot out, Landorus Therian, and Ferrothorn because they can be Rock Setters. Landorus Therian was most likely his lead because I have a very physically offensive draft, and it became a lot more physically offensive, especially through trades, and I figured that Doogal might want to try and counter that. So, as you can see here, he actually leads off with Primarina as I lead off with my Aerodactyl. I figured that I had to lead off with Aerodactyl to get up rocks, but seeing a Primarina in here, I really wanted to preserve my Aerodactyl, and I didn't think that rocks were worth sacking Aerodactyl for. So I switched to my Mega Blastoise. I figured that he's overall not going to do a ton of damage to me if he's not Specs, and I'm just going to go for HP Grass. I am chewing Scalds, so I'm not overly worried. I figured he was probably just trying to get a burn, maybe thinking I couldn't hit him with anything besides Toxic. I'm just going for HP Grass. I figured it's really my best way to hit him overall, and he is actually going to go for the Rest. So Rest was a little bit concerning for me to see because it now gave Primarina a very scary threat to my team, Longevity. However, I was very worth switching in Zeraora on it because I figured that he either had Rest Stock, and then that's only 2 moves to hit my team, or B, he didn't have it and was going to switch out, like he switched out into Zapdos. So I then decide I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt and Zapdos and just see what he's going to do. He probably is going to go for Heat Wave, which he ended up actually doing, or Volt Switch, thinking I would switch out because he saw Zapdos and just try and gain momentum on me. The Heat Wave I wasn't concerned about, even if it burned, because I'm a special Zeraora this week, and if he went Volt Switch, that is only going to help my matchup a lot more versus him, and maybe I could fake that I'm a Choice set. Maybe he's going to think that I'm like a Choice Scarf set. That speed, such as Scarf Salazzle in the back, if they come, or even, let's say, Agility Zap, oh, not Agility, well, still Agility, but more so Tailwind Zapdos. So I figured that those are all very good options against this team to run, potentially a Scarf Zera, also for potentially a Rock Polish Lando T. So I was hoping that maybe I could bait in that maybe I'm a Choice set, whether it's Specs or Scarf, and that maybe I was just locked in the Thunderbolt and he'd bring in the Lando T and I could just HP Ice it should he not be Yachi Berry. But he actually just goes for the Heat Wave, and overall I just decided I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt until I get to a point where I can force him to Roost. I want to just make sure that he's going to go for the Roost, not just try and Toxic. So here I figured he's probably going to go for a Roost again, and I can just bring in my Aerodactyl. He actually makes a very good switch into Ferrothorn here, and I figured that this is the point in the game where I feel comfortable enough. Zapdos after Rocks is going to be OHKO'd by Zeraora with Thunderbolt, and I could just sack my Aerodactyl. I was not overly concerned because now I could just bring in my Mega Blastoise, and I could just go for an Aura Sphere, and I actually do a lot less than I thought I would. It wasn't concerning damage, especially since he went for a Stealth Rock. This was not a concern at all of mine. And if he brings in the Primarina here, let's say, he actually decides to Scout here to protect. Very smart play on his part. But had he brought in Primarina between Rocks and the Aura Sphere, I would have been able to most likely kill with 2 more Hidden Power Grasses. So overall, I was very okay with this. So he actually does switch in the Primarina here as I go for an Aura Sphere. And I do 18%, not great damage, but not bad damage either. I'm going to just go for an HP Grass. I do 38%. So he's just going to burn off another turn of sleep, and it shows that he obviously has Sleep Talk, and he's just going to click Rest. Unfortunately for him, that really sucks because now his Primarina is essentially a sack at this point. So he does still stay asleep, of course. Now he cannot even bring in his Primarina again. However, he does still get off a nice Moonblast on a Mega Blastoise, so that was very nice for Doogal. However, it's even more so nice for us. I figured that I'd go for Water Pulse in case he wanted to try and maybe preserve and maybe go into something such as Lando T or Zapdos. I could try and get a confusion off. So he does bring in his Zapdos actually. I just sack my Mega Blastoise because Ferrothorn is low enough. I'm not overly concerned with Salazzle yet, and I have other ways around Lando T at this point. So I just bring in my Sneasel because I know he does not have great switch into an Ice-Cold Crash at all in his draft. So I got rid of the Zapdos. So I am really feeling confident in my Hawlucha this game from this point on. He does bring his Ferrothorn as I go for Low Kick. He was probably trying to scout to make sure I had Low Kick. Very smart play on my part to have gone for it. And I am very glad that this Ferrothorn is out of the way as well, because it cannot Gyro Ball my Tapu Bulu, which could potentially be bad. I decided I'm just going to sack my Sneasel here, and just go for Ice Shard. I didn't really have switch-ins at all at this point because I sacked my Mega Blastoise, and even had I not sacked it, it would have still taken a lot from Sludge Wave. So I do bring in my Zeraora here, and I realize that he's Scarf. My play should have been to bring in my Bulu, and I'll talk about that right now real quick. My play should have been to bring in Tapu Bulu, sack Bulu no matter what, or even switch in Zeraora. The play should have been to bring in Bulu, sack Zeraora, bring in Hawlucha, especially because in my head I was thinking this is probably a Scarf Salazzle. I don't know why I thought it, but that was sort of where the first place my mind jumped, and it actually ended up being a Scarf Salazzle. Because that was extremely smart on Doogal's part, and my play should have been to just sack my Zeraora after I got Katarina up, bring in Hawlucha, sweep, and then I'd have Bulu late game should it need to with Scarf, because Scarf would hammer would clean through his team at that point, as long as I got rid of Salazzle. So, however, I do sack my Zeraora, I then sack my top Bulu, and I'm a little bit concerned for going into finals, because I'm now really concerned since I only have Hawlucha left, and this could be very scary if he has Z-Fly Lando. So I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I have to play as if he is not Z-Fly Lando, and I have to just go for the win. So I bring in my Hawlucha here. Hawlucha, I am really banking on this game. I'm just going to go for Acrobatics. I kill off the Salazzle. I am really happy at this point because I killed off the Salazzle. He brings in his Lando T now, and I literally just need to play as if this thing is not going to click Z-Fly at me right now. So I go for the Swords Dance. He actually goes for Stone Edge. So I'm already very happy because I realize he's locked into Stone Edge. Stone Edge is his best way to hit me. I'm just going to go for Swords Dance, and I'm just going to set up on this Lando T. So he does bring in his Mega Gallade at this point, as I just go for the Acrobatics. I heal off the Mega Gallade. I figured even at +2, this Lando T is still most likely going to be 2 KO'd after the 2 come-ins from rocks. So I'm very content with that. He does bring in his Lando T, of course. I am still at +2 with Acrobatics in my disposal. I click Acrobatics, and I OHKO anyway. Had he been defensive, he might have taken that. However, I only won this game, at least from how I played late game, because of the fact that Doogal actually, and I feel really bad about this, but Doogal ended up, he was in between a couple spreads, he was in between Scarf with options such as Sludge Wave. He actually ran a non-natured Lando T at all, so that was really unfortunate for him. Not only that, but he ended up switching last second to the Z-Fly option. However, he forgot to put Fly on his set, so that was very unfortunate for Doogal. It did 100% cost him the game, otherwise he would have just been able to click Z-Fly versus me and then kill off my Hawlucha. However, it's not like I won the game because of hacks. It's not like I won the game because of something that I shouldn't have done. I won the game by playing well, so I'm very content that we are now going to finals. We're playing up against Northern Nation, the finals that no one ever would have seen coming. I am playing off against Davion. Actually, he's New Nation Gaming now, so we're playing off against him though. Very close friend of mine for over a year. I actually met up with him recently at PAX East. I was crashing in their hotel for the night. So you know, I'm pretty good friends with Davion. It feels really nice to play a friend in finals. I've played friends obviously throughout the whole playoffs. I'm pretty friendly with pretty much everyone in the league. So obviously, you know, that was bound to happen. But I feel nice, you know, making finals. I'm gonna avenge you, Dad. I'm gonna win that title for you, Mr. Retired from Mons Danicki. I will win for you. I'm going to not only that, but I am also going to win this finals for the Hita Bros. I'm going to win a finals for us that is not a speed tour. I am going to beat Davion where he stands because I have only beaten Davion once in format, and I need to beat him more because I am embarrassed. I feel like if I can call the crits right, like I did in my last game versus Davion, that my luck is going to be on my side. And like those crits in that week 7 game, I am calling this. This is our victory, guys. And without further ado, this finals game, it actually happens the day I'm recording this. I'm recording it on Saturday. The finals game happens in a couple hours. I might potentially even live stream it. I am very indifferent on if I want to live stream my finals game or not. If I did, then obviously you will see that, and I'll probably re-upload a post-com. If I decide not to upload it, then I won't upload it. Not upload it. I mean, if I decide to not stream it, then I just won't stream it. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, obviously leave a like down below. Check out my Twitter because I will tweet out if I decide that I'm going to stream it today. Kind of in a streaming mood, and I mean, if I have the time, I might as well. But that is all for this week, though, guys. I will see you guys next week with our IBA finals for season 3, and you will find out which of these new finalists will finally win their first chip. See you guys then. Peace out.